Welcome to another edition of Bison Magazine. And here for the first Bison Magazine of the 2012-2013 academic year, we have three great stories for you. We're going to focus on field hockey, football, and to start things off, something new in the air as we present three new coaches in a behind-the-scenes look at their individual sports. There'll be women's basketball, softball, baseball, all featured here in this, what we call Something New. There's something new in the air at Bucknell. Women's basketball, baseball,
I can almost see it, that dream I'm dreaming,
and softball have new coaches to guide them beginning with the 2012-2013 campaigns.
Run, stretch everyone together. So get it going.
In the softball circle, Bonnie Skrenta worked with her team for the first time during the fall.
Oh, every single day I'm grateful for the fall season and being able to have these weeks with the girls to get out on our field while the weather is wonderful and implement a lot of the new technical and strategy type ideas that we have as a whole team. I think this is crucial in our development this year.
Of course, she also uses the fall to iron out a few things.
Team's great. They've been really welcoming. They've been receptive to a lot of new teaching techniques, my energy, and we've been fueling each other on and off the field. Too. The word fine and me are so bothered. Like, why not awesome? Like, fine. But she used it too and I didn't point it out. Like, what's fine? Why is this fine? Fine. Like, there's so many better words.
One area she thinks has been fine has been the help she has received from athletics administrators at Bucknell as she adjusts to this new position.
The bigger athletic department's been great because we have a lot of great athletic directors to support us in our mission and our goals, and everyone has been chipping in to kind of take over a lot of the work that we might have missed those few months that there was no coach here and I was getting ready. Good job. All right.
Pride on three. 1, 2, 3.
Good. Be big today, and we're going to try to make all the routine plays.
On the baseball diamond, a new coach is replacing the field's namesake as former assistant coach Scott Heather holds his first fall practice as the head coach of the Bucknell baseball team, coached for so long by Gene Depew.
Yeah, they certainly look at what I say maybe a little bit differently, but a lot of it's the same. It's still working with good quality kids, and I'm just enjoying each day coming out here and working hard. Get through that soreness yet, Tommy? Yeah. Almost there.
During the fall, Coach Heather had some specific goals to accomplish.
We're going to try to implement more of our system into what we want to do and the style of play that we want to incorporate, and just cover some things with rundowns and cutoffs and relays that we haven't gotten a chance to cover yet.
Heather says that he is learning more and more each day about what it's like being the head baseball coach at Bucknell.
Be careful, I'm mic'd up today.
I am?
I am.
Oh, you doing?
Mic'd up. Be careful. Careful what you say.
By the way, oh shit, is he in the camera? What are you doing?
Jamie and Christian, a former Bucknell basketball assistant, told me when I got the job there'll be 3 things that happen each day that you just don't expect, and that's definitely true. At least three times a day, things pop up that I need to handle that you're just not anticipating. But all of it's been great. I've just been enjoying each day. The days fly by, and it's certainly a lot of work, but something that I enjoy coming to work each day.
He especially loves teaching the game of baseball.
Here, Marcus. Get it down. Turn that back foot. Yeah. Good boy. Stay down the lines. Good angle, good.
The third new coach in the Bucknell Department of Athletics is women's basketball coach Aaron Roussell. His season got underway November 10th, but he had a week in the spring and all of fall camp to work with the squad, and he loves practice.
Again, a little spin and catch things, kind of the fundamentals that we kind of need to get back to. Some of the things I don't feel like I've taught well enough with the high-low pass and some of that stuff. So some of that stuff shouldn't be too taxing on your knee. And there's a lot of pieces that need to be put together, and I think as a coach, just for their sake, trying to put together everything, try to show them the whole process of it. And I think sometimes that's maybe not the best way to go. You kind of have to do things in baby steps.
He does credit the team with handling the transition to a new system very well.
Bam. Without the hop, that's exactly what we're trying to get rid of. You know what I'm saying? You know the hop that I'm talking about. Here, plant it, there you go, quick. Okay? So again, you did a good job of staying low, but as soon as that foot hits, you're going up. You're not going down any lower. There you go, good. The energy, the enthusiasm has been awesome. I think as a coach, and it's probably my own fault more than it's anything else, is you just forget how you have to start brick by brick.
Of course, it's not just the players who have had to undergo a transition, as he moved his wife Molly and one-year-old son Riley from Chicago all the way to Lewisburg.
Everybody building up Lewisburg to be a great community and a great people town, and we couldn't be happier, honest to God. I mean, hey, if there's a better neighborhood out there, I can't think of it. So we really lucked out. The people here have been amazing. I've been pleasantly, I wouldn't say surprised, but very encouraged by the reaction that we've gotten already here in the community. I think people are really excited to see what we have. The ball's right here at this spot. My hands are up, you're calling for it. Again, your hand is up there. You're not trying to throw it to her hand. Okay? Put it out there, let her go get it. She's gonna hold me off. We might say just kind of use the bottom corner of that backboard as a target. Throw it there, let her go get it.
Our next story on Bison Magazine deals with a field hockey player who had some international experience this year. You know, Bucknell student athletes are recognized throughout this nation, but in this case, this particular field hockey player during the season actually got to go to Mexico for some international experience. This one is entitled Pan Am Awareness. In the midst of another great season, the Bucknell field hockey team lost one of its primary players to a higher calling as Vickie Resh headed to Guadalajara, Mexico to participate in the Pan American Games for Team USA.
It was more than what I expected. I wasn't really quite sure what to expect going down there, but the girls were great and the level of play was fantastic. The coaches were great. It was just an incredible experience all around.
Resh says it was definitely a step up in competition during her international experience.
One of the biggest differences was just the speed of the game in general was just, I mean, a totally another level of play, and the skill of the players that we played with and against was just a step above as well.
She says that with 18 girls on the roster, she wasn't positive how much playing time she would receive.
Every game except for our last game, all of us were able to play. Usually in international tournaments, they play 16 out of the 18. But for this tournament, they allowed all 18 to play, which is really great, so coaches didn't have to make any tough decisions.
She says that her journey to Team USA began during her summer participation on the high performance team, which then led to the junior national camp and another camp before being selected for the squad. But once she was selected, she became part of the family.
We definitely became close over the 2 weeks. Like I said, we spent 24/7 together, so we got a lot of time to get to know each other, and they were just really, really accepting and really fun to hang out with.
Vickie points out that there were many spectacular moments at the Pan American Games, but one really stood out.
Being able to wear the USA was one of the, well, it was probably the best experience of my life so far. Being able to represent the country, especially on September 11th, we got to play a game and kind of remember those who fell that day, so that was really, really special.
Of course, she did have to make some sacrifices to be part of the team, particularly academically.
But luckily, all my professors were willing to work with me. They were really, really fantastic with that. But while I was down there, it was a little tough. We only had a few hours a day to get homework in, so trying to squeeze in what I missed in lecture and then in addition the homework was definitely tough, but got it done, or what I needed to anyways.
On the field, the team sacrificed too, but they did leave Mexico with a medal.
We won a bronze medal against Chile, which was nice. It was a revenge because they beat us in regular pool play.
She says with the 4th place finish, the team is now qualified for the Junior World Cup in the summer, and she hopes to make that squad as well.
We have training again sometime over the winter months, early spring, and then from there they'll choose another squad to go down.
Bucknell head coach Jeremy Cook says Vickie's participation is great for Bucknell University.
It's a huge honor. It's a huge honor. And looking down and hearing the national anthem while you have a flag on your chest is something pretty special.
Our final piece on Bison Magazine for today is going to be about football. You know, everybody likes the term family, but on Bucknell's football team in the 2012 season, that was really true, as we are going to be featuring Jake Flaherty and Calvin Garrett, and this piece is entitled, "We Are Family."
Football teammates consider themselves a family, but for 2 members of this year's Bucknell team, that was more than just a term of endearment. Quarterback Calvin Garrett and wide receiver Jake Flaherty, who suffered a season-ending knee injury versus Harvard, are cousins. Garrett grew up in Texas and Flaherty in New Jersey, but it was football that bonded the 2 families together. You see, Jake's dad, Harry, played for Philadelphia and Dallas in the NFL and Tampa Bay in the USFL, while Calvin's dad, Judd, played for the Cowboys and for London of the WFL and is currently Dallas's Director of Pro Personnel.
Anytime there's like a family get-together, there's always stories about past games and past teammates and just like rivalries, from whether it's high school, college, or even the NFL. It's just great having that common bond with family.
Garrett says that growing up in a football family is every young boy's dream.
Something that I really enjoy about my family, because I can talk to pretty much anyone in my family about sports and what I love, and I learn a lot about it from them, and I feel very blessed to have that. A kid who loves sports, who's able to just go to my dad or uncle about any sort of question I would have.
For Calvin and Jake, memories of being together go way back.
When I was about 3 years old and Jake was about 4 or 5, I just remember being in New Jersey with him and all his brothers.
I have 3 brothers, and we would always, Calvin is almost like another brother in the summer. He'd always be at our house or at the beach just hanging out.
When it comes to favorite teams, well, when you have family members who play for a lot of NFL squads, that can be tough to narrow down to just one.
I've always liked the team my dad was with, so we've been Saints fan, Dolphins fan, St. Louis Rams fan, and finally back a Cowboys fan again. Hopefully it will stay that way.
I would always follow my Uncle Jason, what team he was on. And for a brief stint in the early 2000s, he played for the Giants. So I was a Giants fan for a good 3-4 years, because that was the early 2000s when they went to the Super Bowl.
Life, however, hasn't always been easy for either of the cousins. Calvin's mother passed away when he was young, and Jake had multiple knee surgeries before this latest ACL tear.
I know that God, has a purpose and plan for my life, and although it wasn't the plan that I had figured at first, you just got to keep trusting in the Lord, and He definitely opened a door for me here at Bucknell, and I'm just taking advantage of it.
And ultimately, it does indeed come down to Bucknell, a place where many people meet their future husbands or wives, or, in the case of Calvin and Jake, where cousins are reunited.
I always thought it would be cool to play football with them, and that was a huge selling point for me. I mean, obviously Bucknell kind of sells itself in a way, but that was definitely a huge part of it, was Jake.